What goes on, guys? We're back here again with another review, and today I am going to be showing you guys my custom figures of none other than Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, Defenders of the Deep. Now, this is from SpongeBob SquarePants, if you don't know. I mean, come on. How do you not know who Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy is? But anyway, similar to the way with Crimson Chin, I have always wanted a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. And in fact, I actually started these ones before the Crimson Chin. It's just the Crimson Chin I kind of knocked out all at once because it was going so well. But these two, couple hiccups here and there. I think I would definitely try to redo these one day. But for right now, I'm going to stick to what I have here. But anyway, I think they still turned out pretty good. Not nearly as good as my Crimson Chin, to be completely honest. But, I mean, I'm going to run through what we did here and, you know, showcase how I went about making these. But we'll start with Mermaid Man, because he has a little bit less work. So you can see at the head, I went ahead and put the starfish on his face so he can breathe underwater. That's his origin story. He got the starfish on his face, gifted to him by a mermaid, and now he can breathe underwater. But I left the texture on there on purpose to kind of like let it have a little bit more of a realistic look, considering that the rest of the body is more of a realistic look. Obviously, I used the DC Essentials Aquaman body, if you don't know, which is not a good body. The ankles and legs are incredibly loose on this guy, so he tends to fall forward, and he's kind of hard to stand, so I just have to be careful with that. I put the seashells on his chesticles, which also turned out really, really nice. I like the way that they look. I kept the texture on there as well. I mean, I kind of wish I smoothed them out a little bit more, but I think it looks all right. The only thing that I wish I would have done differently for those is sculpt them on the body rather than sculpting them off and then just kind of gluing them on. But I think from the front and from most angles, it'll be fine. And then what I like the most about what I did here is the belt and the pelvis area. I was able to paint the pelvis and then put the little scales that he has on there. But then I sculpted the belt on top. And I'm still able to, you know, he still has his waist swivel. I'll go through articulation in a second. And then I have M for Mermaid Man, not W for Wumbo. He, she, they, Wumbo. Now, this would be Wumbo, but this is M for Mermaid Man. And then the rest of the body is pretty much the same, because Aquaman and Mermaid Man kind of have almost an exact same design, except for the star and the belt. Pretty much everything I just added on is pretty much all they have, and like different. I didn't have to do any painting, nothing like that. So, I mean, it was a pretty relatively easy custom, just not a good figure to work with. If McFarlane was to do a classic Aquaman, I would consider trying this again, maybe doing a head swap and whatever. I might try to redo that. We'll see. Because I heard that there was a rumored Aquaman that was coming out, but I could be completely wrong about that. Hopefully there is, because I don't have an Aquaman in my collection that I'm really happy with. So, yeah, what are you going to do? But running through articulation really carefully, head moves up, down, rotate 360, and then the arms are what you would expect for a DC Essentials Aquaman. The rib, like the abs will move. I just have to grab them from the back, and then the waist swivel does move too. So I just got to be careful with that, because I could knock the shells off pretty easily. The hips suck. They're super loose. Thigh swivel. I hate this rotation at the calf. I'm gonna glue it, I think. And then it moves up and down, and these ball joint ankles suck. So not the best articulation, unfortunately. I guess it's good articulation, just not very well implemented. Especially for a custom that has a lot of work, fragile work on the front, and he tends to fall forward. So I just really have to be careful about that. But yeah, that's my Mermaid Man. So moving on to his trusty sidekick, Barnacle Boy. Oh, excuse me, Barnacle Man. This looks sick. I think it turned out pretty cool. I took the Peter Parker head. There's about 3 figures that I used for this one instead of just one for Aquaman. I used the Peter Parker head from my buddy. He just gave me the spare head because he was using the half Peter Parker, half Spider-Man one. And then I got the body from Captain Marvel. I just had to paint the shoulders, which I wish I didn't have to do that. I thought it was all red, but whatever. And then I left the boots. I took Namor and put Namor on here. Popped out the legs, which was also a pain in the ass for some reason. And I chiseled out the top of the neck and then cut out Namor's neck and glued it on there to have that skin effect. The head, I didn't really have to do anything other than just paint the hair black. from Peter Parker, and then I swapped out the lower legs, which most angles they look good, but some angles there's a little bit of like an off-skewed look, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so taking a look at the head sculpt, I don't know what that black smudge was there when I got the Peter Parker head, and it just won't come off. But I think the goggles work perfect for a young Barnacle Boy. Like, it was kind of perfect when I saw that. I was like, I didn't even have to do anything with it. I sculpted his ascot on him, going around. Unfortunately, right before the review, it fell backwards and kind of chipped that off. I mean, I have the paint, so I'll just probably repaint that, but not that big a deal. I think from the front, it looks pretty cool. I want to try to clean up around the edges a little bit more, but then on the belt, I sculpted his belt. It is a loose piece. It really doesn't get in the way of articulation. I painted that gold, and then I put the little seashell on there for him too. The arms, I really didn't do much. The pants, I painted them black, and then the hips, I switched out from Namor and switched out the lower legs from Namor. So nothing too crazy for him. And then, on the top, I sculpted his, his little sailor hat. But I wanted to make it big on purpose to kind of, make sure people know it's there. So the head, be careful. All right, so the head will move up that far, down that much, rotate 360. Sorry, we're doing this backwards. The shoulders do move up. I mean, they were tight on the Captain Marvel to begin with, so just gotta be careful with those. They'll rotate 360, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that work fine, and then a wrist swivel and hinge. His ab crunch works fine, nothing really gets in the way of that, and his waist swivel works. I usually stop here so I don't knock off the shell, but not that big a deal. Hips only move outwards that far, but it didn't really move far on Captain Marvel to begin with. It'll go up all the way, back not so much, thigh cut, double jointed knees, rotation at the calf, and then ankles move down and up. So yeah, I think he turned out pretty cool as well. Just a little bit of cleanup work on this guy, I guess, because now that I'm noticing it through the camera lens, I can see that there's some black on the legs. Maybe I could use another coat of a brighter red, but I mean, just little touch-up work. So bear with me here. I'm just trying to get these off my desk, show you guys. But yeah, I think he turned out pretty cool. So let's see them next to my other custom. Here they are next to the Crimson Chin. And obviously, I really like my Crimson Chin. It's probably my favorite custom that I've ever done. Oops, sorry. But he is shorter than them, which is kind of strange because he's a 7-inch scale figure. And I thought the DC Essentials were 7-inch scale figures as well, but I guess they're not. But I still think that they look good together. Happy to say they look good together. I think I'm trying to think of other superheroes that I would like to. I would like to try a Man Ray as a villain for them too. But Man Ray, for obvious reasons, is a little bit difficult to do. And I would also like to try Ultraman from Jimmy Neutron, but I'm not really sure the figure that I would use to start that yet. Plus, that would require a lot of sculpting, yada, yada, yada. I know, a lot of big baby excuses, but I'll figure it out. That's not my next custom. My next custom is not a Nickelodeon-themed superhero, so I'll get to that when we get to it. But I think these look cool together, and I think I took a picture or two of them duking it out. So since this is a custom video, it's that part of the video where I'm wondering what you guys are thinking. I made these figures. Let me know how I did. Did I do a good job? If I was to rate myself, I'd give them about a 6 or 7 out of 10. There's a little bit of touch-up work that needs to be done on them, and definitely doing them once. Things I would change if I were to redo them, for sure. For instance, I would definitely try to resculpt the entire ascot for Barnacle Boy. I'm not really liking the way that looks. Clean up the paint a little bit. Mermaid Man, sculpt the seashells on his chest rather than sculpting them off and then just gluing them on. And obviously, I just need a new body for the Mermaid Man. I'm not really a big fan of the way that looks. But overall, I still think this was a successful project, and I'd like to know what you guys think about it. Definitely go check out my Crimson Chin review if you have not already. There's not much I would change about him. I really like the way that he turned out, but, that's up for you guys to decide. So, with that being said, I think that is all I have for today. So please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. At 300 subscribers, we will be giving away a figure. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, come on, let's do that. Do yourself and me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, yada, 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 all the YouTube junk. Follow me on Instagram at Zach Toys. I post a ton of pictures, and I took some cool pictures of these guys with some cool editing to them. But I think that is all I have for today. So I will see you guys in the next review. Peace.